All right, let's talk about the future. Specifically, your future. We're going to dive into a blueprint for 2026, breaking down the skills that are going to be absolutely essential, not just to stay employed, but to really command a high income. So, let's get right into it.
So let me ask you a question, and be honest. What are you learning right now that's going to secure your career in a couple of years? The job market is shifting underneath our feet, like constantly. The real key is to see where things are headed, and that is exactly what we're about to map out.
And look, we're not talking about some vague, fluffy trends here. We're handing you a concrete blueprint. This is a guide based on what the highest-paying companies are begging for. Think of this as your personal roadmap to making yourself way more valuable.
Okay, let's start at the very top. The single most important, most disruptive, and most in-demand skill for 2026. You probably have a good guess what's coming at number one.
You got it. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. And listen, this isn't some niche tech thing anymore. It has absolutely exploded. This is now the engine that drives pretty much everything. It's totally reshaping every industry you can think of.
So, what does learning AI actually mean? Well, on the left, you see the specifics. We're talking about things like Python, understanding neural networks, which are kind of like the brains of the AI, and, this is a big one, prompt engineering. That's just the art of telling an AI what to do to get amazing results. And why does it matter? Well, look at the right side. AI is everywhere now. Companies don't just need the geniuses building it, they need everyone, marketers, managers, you name it, to know how to use these tools effectively. But here's the thing. With all this incredible AI power and all this data floating around, a massive weak spot opens up. And that leads us directly to skill number two, a field that is, frankly, non-negotiable for any company that wants to survive.
Cybersecurity? Think about it. Every new piece of tech, every bit of data we put online, it just creates another target. Cybersecurity has gone from being just an IT department problem to a straight-up business survival mission.
And here's the wild part. Every time you see a headline about a massive data breach, you should just read it as a giant help wanted sign. The number of attacks is just going up and up, creating this huge shortage of talent. That's why skills like ethical hacking, basically learning to think like a bad guy to stop them, are so valuable. Companies are desperate, and they're paying top dollar for this kind of protection.
All right, on to skill number three. So we've talked about the brains, which is the AI, and we've got the shield, which is cybersecurity. So the next logical question is, where does all this digital stuff actually live?
It lives in the cloud. Cloud computing and DevOps. If AI is the brain and cybersecurity is the shield, then the cloud's the whole central nervous system that makes everything work. It's the foundation for pretty much every modern business.
And this right here, this is where you can really follow the money. Knowing the big platforms like AWS or Azure is the entry ticket. But when you start adding in DevOps skills, like building what are called CI/CD pipelines, which are basically automated assembly lines for software, that's when your earning potential just goes through the roof. The reality is simple. The cloud runs everything, and the people who can manage it well get paid very, very well. Okay, number four. So we've got all this incredible computing power, all this data sitting in the cloud, all nicely protected. So, what now? What do we actually do with all of it? Well, that's where our next skill comes in.
Data analytics and data engineering. This is all about being a digital detective. You're taking huge, messy piles of raw information and turning it into something that makes sense, something a company can actually use to make smart decisions. And the demand for this stuff, it is relentless. It never stops. Whether you're using SQL to pull information or a tool like Tableau to make it look pretty and understandable, these skills are gold. Literally, every company is trying to use data to make better moves. That's why people who are good with data are always in demand.
Okay, hold on. Before we hit number 5, I want you to just take a second and really let this quote sink in. AI handles tasks, but humans who think, lead, and communicate well get promoted faster and earn more. This is a huge hint. This is the secret weapon in a tech-first world.
And that brings us to number 5. This one might actually be the most surprising on the list, but honestly, it might just be the most powerful of them all.
Digital communication and soft skills. Yeah, you heard that right. In a world that's all about automation and AI, our most human skills have suddenly become our biggest superpower. Technology is just a tool, right? These skills are what let us use that tool to lead, to create, and to work together.
So what are we really talking about here?
We're talking about being able to communicate clearly with a team, being able to give a presentation that actually convinces people, the ability to look at a complex problem and figure it out. These are not just nice little extras on a resume. Here's the deal. The tech skills will get you the job, but these skills, these are what get you the promotion and the big paycheck.
Okay, so that's the top 5, but we're not quite done. Let's do a quick rapid-fire bonus round. Think of these as career accelerators, the extra skills that can just pour gasoline on the fire and get you ahead even faster.
First up, financial literacy. You have to speak the language of money if you want to move up. Next, UI/UX design, because if people can't easily use the tech, it's useless. Then, a basic understanding of robotics to see how the physical world is changing. Fourth, product thinking, learning to think like a CEO about what's being built. And finally, cyber awareness. This is not just for the IT folks anymore, it's for literally everyone.
So there you have it. That's the blueprint for a high-income career in 2026. But this isn't just a forecast, right? It's a call to action. The career you're going to have in 2 years is being built by what you decide to do today. So the only real question left is, which skill are you going to build first?